What's going on YouTube? This is going to be a quick synergy guide on Pilgrim and really Pilgrim's upgrade, Lost Chieftain. So Lost Chieftains are kind of criminally underrated, I think, right now for their magic damage to begin with. My chat's going to be mad that I threw away the secret, but Lost Chieftains are extremely good magic DPS. They do 203 damage per hit. They do attack slowly, right? But they still do really good damage. The beauty of Lost Chieftains is that they buff the health of other units. So you're increasing the max health of the forward most positioned fighter by 1500, cast once, can stack on itself. If you want to do this, I think you need to pay attention to what units you have to buff. And there are certain units that are good, certain units that are bad, right? The first things first, it'll always buff the leftmost unit forward. So it's hard to explain in a nice and concise way. If you have this two units on the same exact level, right, it will always buff the leftmost unit. If you have a unit that's in the center, it'll buff the center unit. If you have a unit like these two, it'll buff the centermost unit. But it will always buff the left side before the right. It will, as you can see here, if it doesn't have anything in range, buff the rightmost unit as long as it's the most forward unit. Once those are gone, though, it's again just the center. There are certain units, though, this works better with than others, right? I think Yuzora gains a decent amount because of its ability to dodge, right? That extra handful of hits that it has a potential to dodge gives you more value. I think it's fine. The only problem I have is 17 can be very difficult with a Yuzora up as your big unit, right? I think Lioness with at least 3 stacks, 4 if you place it in the very center. Obviously, again, keep in mind you have to have it in the very center if you want 4. Is really good because it already has a damage reduction built in because of, you know, its entourage ability. So you already have like a damage reduction buff built into the unit. Bunk, in my opinion, if you want to use a thing that like a unit that has healing, so Bunk, Butcher, plus Chieftains can be really fun. It's what I like to call Super Bunk. If you can get Bunk, Butcher with Chieftains and even like an Ocean Templar, the thing will sustain and live on waves that you never would have thought possible. If you add in something like Sorcerer, Hero, Protector, anything like that, it becomes nigh unbeatable unless they send you like 4 eyes. Bone Crusher can be decent early because it has a built-in heal mechanism, right? So you not necessarily are going to need Ocean Templar. Antler is going to be good for the same reason that Lioness is good, is that it has a built-in damage mitigation, right? 20%. By far the best damage mitigator in the game, though, is Green Devil when buffed by Chieftain, right? You get that 35% plus 1 buff to its damage mitigation. On top of the fact that you can also then give it health, right? And healing with like Ocean Templar. It's ridiculous. I think, technically speaking, a 4-stack Lioness is more percentage-wise. Nope, less. It is less. Okay, so never mind. Scratch that idea. It is the most I think you can possibly get without like Hero or some other bonus. Then you also have got like Wild Shroom, which again benefits from the healing aura, the healing over time. If I had to rank all of these, right, I'd say my top 3 are going to be Green Devil, Banana Bunk, and Yuzora. They, quite honestly, just are great units when you increase their health, whether it be because they dodge more, they deal more damage back, or they just are insane tanks. All 3 of them work really well. You can get by with doing Lost Chieftain on any unit realistically, but the value is less. So if you don't have a good synergy with it. Lost Chieftains are great early game magic DPS on, like, say, wave 9, wave 11, even wave 13. They can be really good on 15 and 18 and even 20, but they definitely have a downside if you don't have a good unit to synergize with it. I think that kind of wraps this up, though. The biggest thing, I guess, to keep in mind, before I forget, it will not buff a Serpent, just because it's technically an underground unit. I guess they kind of just coded it so it didn't buff it, which makes sense, right? You don't want your Serpent to get buffed. It's as much of a, it doesn't make sense to do it as it is just a, you know, you don't want to do it for a lot of reasons type deal. For the most part, though, if you ever need to, I like to keep a unit that I can, like, quickly drop, right? Like, let's say I've got Banana Bunk, which is fortified, and I need a Swift tank. I keep something like a Polywog just in case I need to have a Swift tank this wave and I don't have anything else. Same can be said for, like, Yozora, which is Swift, and I really need to make sure I hold on 17. Just quickly buffing a Chain Fist is an option. It's not going to be as good, but it can be done. Good question from chat. What if I buff Lost Chieftain with Lost Chieftain? It works. A Lost Chieftain will buff a Lost Chieftain, and a Lost Chieftain will buff itself. So you're not required to use a tank, but you get the most value out of a tanky unit. Another good question from chat. In a scenario where you don't upgrade them for the heal, or is Gaia just good? I think there's many specific situations where you don't necessarily want it upgraded. If you already have a good magic damage unit like Azeria down, it doesn't really make sense to, right? The only reason why you upgrade it is because it is good magic damage, or you have a good synergy with it. I think healing like a gate can be theoretically better to just leave alone. It won't give you a whole lot of extra value out of that gate. You might only get 1, maybe 2 more spawns because of it. But that could be, you know, good value. If you have a lot of relatively tanky frontline with something like an Ocean Templar, and you want to make sure that everything stays alive as long as possible, without buffing anything, regular Pilgrim can be okay. Can potentially be more value. But for the most part, Lost Chieftain's just best when you need both good damage for magic and also have a good tank that can synergize well with it. I hope this video helped you guys. If so, please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. All right. Peace.